Hello, and if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Today we will be discussing the world's best animated series, Avatar: The Last Airbender. For today's discussion, the topic is how the siblings, Katara and Sokka, both have a dark mirror reflection in the form of Zuko and Azula. Before we get into it, we need some backstory. Take it away, Katara. Now,
water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only the Avatar, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 100 years passed and my brother and I discovered the new Avatar, an airbender named Aang. And although his airbending skills are great, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone. But I believe Aang can save the world.
Now, of course, I feel like we all know this is true to a certain extent, but I don't see anyone discussing it, so I wanted to shine some light on this topic. Of course, we all know that ages are perfectly matched, with both Zuko and Sokka being the older brothers, age 16, and the younger sisters, Katara and Azula, both being 14. But it doesn't end there. When the four children were younger, they both lost their mothers because of the Fire Nation.
Just let her go, and I'll give you the information you want.
Who's going to make me? Mom?
To add to this, both mothers went out protecting their children from being killed. Zuko's mother was taken away for plotting against the previous Fire Lord, who had plans to kill Zuko, while Katara's mother was slain for lying to a Fire Nation soldier to protect her daughter. It's an experience that Katara holds over Zuko, but also bonds with him over. But
the Fire Nation took my mother away from me.
I'm sorry. That's something we have in common.
But while this connects Zuko and Katara, what about Sokka and Azula? Yes, they both lost their mothers too, but they have a different reaction to it. They both cared about their mother, but don't know how to express it. Sokka loved her, but saw Katara as his mother.
When our mom died, that was the hardest time in my life. Our family was a mess. But Katara, she had so much strength. She stepped up and took on so much responsibility. She helped fill the void that was left by our mom.
I guess I never thought about that.
I'm gonna tell you something crazy. I never told anyone this before. But honestly, I'm not sure I can remember what my mother looked like. It really seems like my whole life, Katara's been the one looking out for me. She's always been the one that's there. And now, when I try to remember my mom, Katara's is the only face I can picture.
While Azula also loved her mother, but never got the validation she wanted, so she doubled down.
Well, yes, I guess you're right. I don't have sob stories like all of you. I could sit here and complain how our mom liked Zuko more than me, but I don't really care. My own mother thought I was a monster. She was right, of course, but it still hurt.
What a shame. You always had such beautiful hair.
What are you doing here?
I didn't want to miss my own daughter's coronation.
Don't pretend to act proud. I know what you really think of me. You think I'm a monster.
I think you're confused. All your life you've used fear to control people, like your friends May and Ty Lee.
Well, what choice do I have? Trust is for fools. Fear is the only reliable way. Even you fear me.
No, I love you, Azula. I do.
Now, I feel like, in a way, Sokka probably never felt validated either, which is why he's more easily adjusted to the loss.
Ever since Mom died, I've been doing all the work around camp while you've been off playing soldier!
Katara?
I even wash all the clothes!
On the flip side, On the flip side, Sokka and Azula are both close with their fathers and hold them in high regard, while Katara and Zuko both have resentment of their fathers. But
Could you leave us, Dad? I mean, I know we had Gran and she loved us, but we were just so lost without you.
I'm so sorry, Katara.
You, my father, who banished me just for talking out of turn. My father, who challenged me, a 13-year-old boy, to an Agni Kai. How can you possibly justify a duel with a child?
It was to teach you respect.
It was cruel, and it was wrong.
But that just connects the older siblings to the younger ones. What about matching up the brothers and sisters one-on-one? Both Sokka and Zuko have fathers that are heavily involved in war. Zuko's dad being the Fire Lord and Sokka's dad being the tribe's chief. When the war started, they both wanted to help, however they both got burned by their fathers. Zuko physically, as punishment for speaking out of turn.
You can't sacrifice an entire division like that! Those soldiers love and defend our nation. How can you betray them?
I looked away.
And Sokka emotionally for being left behind. Zuko was sent on a fool's errand to catch the Avatar or never return home, while Sokka was left to remain home and look after the tribe, but never is taken seriously. They both feel like they have something to prove, although Zuko can't accept the circumstances and Sokka keeps it bottled up. It's also worth noting that they both got their moments to be a part of the war and have approval. Zuko being led into another meeting and speaking, and the same goes for Sokka. Although Sokka fails his speech, he still had the opportunity. It's actually expressed in season 1 and 2 that both Azula and Katara are prodigies with the elements, while Sokka and Zuko both have an inferiority complex because of this.
Everything always came easy to her. She's a fire-bending prodigy, and everyone adores her. My father says she was born lucky.
We can
So amazing and so special, and I'm not. I'm just the guy in the group who's regular.
We can take them 3 on 3.
Actually, Toph, there's 4 of us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't count you. You know, no bending and all.
I can still fight!
However, what they lack in bending capabilities, they gain in swordsmanship and training. But what about the sisters? Well, as stated before, they're prodigies in their elements.
Just want to try this one move first, and then it's all yours. Here, hold it open for me. The single water whip. Looks doable.
And although it seems like Azula is the perfectionist and Katara is the fun naturalist,
That's why I took this.
No way.
Isn't it great?
No wonder they were trying to hack us up. You stole their waterbending scroll.
always the case. Azula is a perfectionist, but Katara is too. Azula gets mad at one hair out of place while
almost perfect. One hair out of place.
Almost isn't good enough.
will practice over and over again, while Katara gets mad at Aang being naturally gifted and sneaks out the train. So
You just gotta shift your way through the stances. There. See? The key to bending is...
Will you please shut your air hole? Believe it or not, your infinite wisdom gets a little old sometimes. Why don't we just throw the scroll away since you're so naturally gifted? What?
Oh my gosh, Aang. I am so sorry.
train so she can one-up him, as well as challenging masters to force him into teaching her how to fight. All
Fine. You want to learn to fight so bad? Study closely.
Although that one was justified. Azula and Katara both feel like they need control over their groups, while Azula uses fear.
You should have feared me more!
Katara just wants to be in charge and take on a motherly role. And they both have a hard time fitting in and having fun because they don't know how to act their age.
See? Fun!
With all that being said, how exactly are the two siblings different? Well, the answer is obvious. It's the friends they made along the way. No, really, hear me out. Aang coming along with that childish wonder and joy brought a spark back to Katara that she lost long ago. Encouraged Sokka to be a real leader and step up completely.
Use your surroundings. Make them fight for you.
And eventually made Zuko want to be a better person as well, to the point he joined the group. Zuko.
Before the war started, I used to always visit my friend Kuzan. The two of us, we get in and out of so much trouble together. He was one of the best friends I ever had. And he was from the Fire Nation, just like you. If we knew each other back then, do you think we could have been friends too?
Yeah.
Get out! Get out of my sight right now if you know what's good for you.
That's another thing. I'm not taking orders from you anymore.
You will obey me, or this defiant breath will be your last.
Think again.
Zuko and Azula aren't inherently bad, but a product of their upbringing. And if they actually had a strong family unit like the main cast, they could have been better sooner. We see this with Iroh subtly guiding Zuko to redemption, and he started fighting within himself.
What do you plan to do now that you have found the Avatar's bison? Keep it locked in our new apartment? Should I go put on a pot of tea for him?
What's happening?
Your critical decision. What you did beneath that lake. It was in such conflict with your image of yourself that you are now at war within your own mind and body.
What's that mean?
You are going through a metamorphosis, my nephew. It will not be a pleasant experience. But when you come out of it, you will be the beautiful prince you are always meant to be.
And Azula surrounded herself with enablers, and if it wasn't about fighting, she didn't see the point in improving, and always doubled down to her old ways. And that's what makes the siblings a dark mirror. Zuko and Azula could have been like Sokka and Katara if they had better support, but it also goes both ways. Sokka and Katara could have been like Zuko and Azula if they were pushed a little more. That's the video, guys. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment below any other video ideas you would like to see. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.